Hey,
Yo,
what's happening?
uh, not much. Just getting through this hell week,
Hmm, sucks.
and it's just because it's just like tier two is just bleh.
Hmm,
Anyway, how are you doing?
not bad. Uh, another week where I just barely snuck in watching this episode. Just got it finished up, but that's as fresh as it gets for me.
It's not bad. It's the best way to do it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say, what do we, actually, let's see. Oh, page numbers.
Hmm. Hmm. Figure that out later. All right.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, 6 pages again, huh?
Not really 6. It's like 5, but
Yeah,
because
I
the
mean,
last page is
technically it's like with the extra stuff in there that takes up, I guess it takes up a page. Or, yeah. Alright, well. What happened?
I don't know. I went.
Cool. Let's see here. Yep. Yep.
Yippity yip 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 yep 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 yep.
Yeah, I guess you were right. There was, okay. I guess I'm dumb because when I was thinking Ahsoka wasn't in that last episode, apparently those first couple minutes I completely blocked out of my mind.
I know. I was like trying to argue that. You're like, no, it's not in there. I'm like, I don't know. She's in there, but
Hmm.
I didn't know how to convince you otherwise.
Even wrote it down.
Hmm?
Well, I wrote this later, but
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. My memory's weird. All right. Well, let's get going, I suppose.
Yeah. I think Dave wanted to see if we wanted to like connect after.
I mean, yeah, we can talk. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna go very far. Like, I'm trying to save money, not spend more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it comes down to for the most part. We're already gonna be spending a bunch, but yeah, we can talk after.
I don't know if there's much to talk about, but we'll see.
If we can get his like separated or whatever somehow, but I don't know how that's gonna work. All right, let's get it going. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to Disnerds Plus, where we talk about your favorite nerdy shows on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
This here is episode 48 for Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. Today we are talking about the 7th episode of Ahsoka Dreams and Madness. I'm Shane.
And I am Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's going on?
Oh, same old, same old. Just another week of more Star Wars. Yeah.
Yay, Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Wars.
I was just thinking. I don't want to. No, maybe I won't say yet. I won't jinx it yet. I'll wait until the last episode before I say what I'm thinking. Not spoilery or anything like that. Just this whole show is spoilery, but it's more about my feelings on the show. Hey Herschel, what's up? Yeah, but another episode. It's flown by. I feel like this series so far.
Just and where you know it, Loki would be right around the corner.
I know, and I was just thinking about that today because I was trying to remember whether or not did we talk about the first season on here?
I don't think we did.
It's been a lot of series, but that's actually really hard to believe because, like, I know we started like after the second season of Mandalorian, but because obviously we didn't get till season 3 of that. But
I don't think we got to Loki. To be honest, I don't remember.
We didn't talk about the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, WandaVision, or Loki, I guess. Maybe
and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Or that. Yeah, because I guess we started with Moon Knight, so I guess that would be, knowing we started with Moon Knight, Loki was before Moon Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, yeah.
Loki was like one of the first ones.
Was it? Okay. Gotcha. All right, well, let's get into it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Previously on.
Well, before we talk about this briefly, Ahsoka and Huyang. Yeah, that's right. I started with Ahsoka. I know. I messed up, okay? I was just thinking, like, I really think she wasn't in that episode. Yep. Nope. Hey, what's the command? Hey, Herschel, punch in that command for Mike's Always Right. And they were soaring through hyperspace aboard one of their purrgils. I mean, it was for, like, a minute or two, maybe, right?
It was the opening scene.
It was the opening scene, which is the least forgettable.
What?
I don't know. For me, it was a very
Apparently.
It literally is how the previous episode ended, and it was basically nothing. except for those weird. You know, maybe I blocked it out of my mind because of the whole the galaxy far, far away part. Maybe even though it was the episode title, I was like, nope, that didn't happen. I don't know. Sabine was
good old Sabine
imprisoned, and the Eye of Sion arrived at Peridea.
Peridea. I spelled it so wrong in mine, so it's okay.
We were reintroduced to the Great Mothers. We had like one of them.
He had one Great Mother in Mother Townsend,
but she wasn't one of these.
She wasn't a Great Mother.
Oh.
I think she was just called Mother Townsend.
Okay, Mother Townsend sounds like a nun from the 1800s. But yeah, we.
Oh, it's Townsend. Townsend. I'm saying Townsend. Mother Townsend. Talzin.
Who is the literal mother of Ventress
Darth
or not?
Maul.
Oh, of
Darth Maul.
Oh, so not. Wait, Ventress was not her kin. Maybe just I don't remember. I mean, she was a witch, I guess, was the deal.
They're all witches, right?
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out why
There's even one in the Jedi Survivor.
Okay, does she look like does she look more like these witches or like
She's more tamed down. She looks more like a little bit more younger Morgan Elsbeth, but
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, are witches like more like a Jedi thing where, you know, like any race could be a witch?
Maybe one day you turn in you could be a mother,
or maybe they just keep
turn
aging.
your face.
Like,
I don't know.
They just keep aging to the point where they're just like they look like that. I don't know. Yeah,
very white and black.
whole bunch of stormtroopers we see with the gold and the red ribbons. Which so I was thinking about ultimately there's all this like I heard some other things, some more talk of like that's sort of like an Asian culture thing with the red ribbons supposedly.
Or the like combining of helmets with the gold lines. Some kind of.
I figured it out though. I solved the riddle though today. What it all really means. It was another excuse to sell toys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you original stormtroopers, the new stormtroopers, well, the clone troopers, and then these.
I mean, Enoch looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he does look badass. Yep. Enoch also, as you mentioned, Thrawn. Just glance over Thrawn. No big deal.
Let's talk about Thrawn.
And then Sabine winds up in another cell. Then surprisingly, they let her go to go find Ezra Bridger, and then she runs into the nomads that she was warned about after riding off on her howler. Baylan and Shin end up going after her, per Thrawn's. I don't even know it was his orders. He was just kind of like, you may, or something, pursue them. Or did he, like, actually order them? He doesn't really have, like, well, I suppose everyone would follow his orders. That would be even remotely allied with him. But she fought those nomads, and then a howler, the howler that she's riding around on, ends up running off and then coming back and doing that bad dog thing, whimpering and everything. And then we meet the. Oh crap! I didn't write it down. The what is it?
Noti.
Noti.
Yeah, Noti.
We did hear it briefly in this one. But the turtle folk, they found well, I should say the howler
Turtle and a half shell
sniffed one out, and let me just say this episode, like I didn't really feel this way the first one. This one, man, this might be up there for what I find to be the most adorable species in Star Wars. At least this episode in particular. And they let her.
I wouldn't be able to handle seeing one like get killed.
No. They're pretty. Even though they're, as we'll find out, kind of, a peaceful race. Despite that, they have a shell. I don't know. It's pretty big shell to boot. But they ended up leading her to Ezra, of course. They have a great reunion. Although, I think it's like some of it's just their attitudes or her attitude, like being not wanting to show emotion or something. But like maybe that's probably. I just would have thought it would have been a little more of an emotional reunion in hindsight, given how long it's been and everything. But and thinking he was maybe possibly dead.
It was not as emotional as you would thought it would have been, but to each their own, I guess.
Yep. And then the Great Mothers sensed a Jedi coming, and then I saw some things out there that were like saying, they can sense that a Jedi approaching from shooting through hyperspace, but they can't find Ezra or whatever on the planet that they're on.
Right? Yeah.
But
that's.
I mean, it's one thing to sense; it's another to like pinpoint exact.
Maybe he's just learned how to hide from them.
Mm-hmm. And it's a planet. It's not a. Although, yeah, planet. But she found things pretty quick. If it's a whole planet.
Just a planet, guys.
So, yeah, Thrawn and them await Ahsoka and the purrgil, and gives the order to attack them if they approach. One thing worth noting that I was reminded of, I think I knew this at one point, but of course, though, that Thrawn is in fact the the brother of the guy that designed the Death Star. That's canon. The Mikkelsen brothers, Lars and Mads, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, right on. So, all right,
They
Mike,
both work for the Empire.
take it away.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let's see here. So we go to start off at Coruscant this week, where Hera is at the New Republic. I said council, but it's like a tribunal or court martial. Talking about her disobeying orders. Senators, is it Zio?
Ziono.
Ziono seems to have it out for Hera, which, yeah, he does. Guy seems kind of like an ass, but
Yeah, he seems like I don't know. It seems like they're going for a certain politician like attitude.
oh yeah, for sure,
But yeah, just kind of like discounting everything.
ridiculous. Let's see. They kind of go Hera and Ziono go back and forth, kind of jabbing at each other. Mon Mothma attempts to bring light that Hera had made aware of issues on Cetos. Ziono starts going over the report about Jedi and false Jedi, space whales, and other galaxies, saying it's like children's fantasies, and so he's not really buying any of it. He thinks it's just a ploy for her to get some kind of gain. I don't know what gain, but I mentioned the Imperial Remnant, and Zeno goes off about there is little to no empire. Carson brings up Mandalorian conflict with Moff Gideon, and Zeno says it proves his point that the empire is no more, and they're basically just old. They're just warlords now.
That was
Really...
Filoni throwing in more of his his characters pretty much in there. Oh, by the way, well, I mean it's all tying it back into Mandalorian, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. There is. I love it. Ziono moves to have Hera get court-martialed. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but sure. Hera is a droid.
Hera's a droid?
I said here a. I spelled that wrong. That's why. Hear a droid in the background, and you hear him say C, and then Mon Mothma says 3PO. So hey, C-3PO's here.
Hey, I kind of wondered if we'd see him. I mean, he's R2-less this time though.
I know, it's weird. Well, R2's with Luke, remember? So that kind of.
Man, trying to like connect. This is like Marvel too, I'm sure. Trying to like keep track of all this shit. They do a good job though.
Yeah, they do. They
which,
have
by
to,
the way, there's an extra. You got an extra E in 3P. It's just literally the 3, the P, and the O.
Oh, is it? Whatever.
3PO.
3PO. 3PO. He's been sent by Leia Organa to help Hera. Gives a data transcript to the council, and of course, Zeno objects.
I will say that I got like pretty, it's like 3PO is annoying as he can be and everything, and like we've seen him in just about every Star Wars ever. I kind of got the feels when he showed up. I was like, oh my god, and it's like actually Anthony Daniels. Oh my god.
I don't think it was in the suit though.
No. I don't. Yeah, he's getting up there in age and everything.
Yeah. Try to squeeze an old man in that thing.
Plus, he's probably like, I am done with it. I will stand in front of a microphone. I will not do that again.
Yeah, I'll talk all day. I'll give you everything you need. Yeah. So then 3PO says that the data transcript shows Leia sanctioned the mission to Cetos. Zeno. Is it? I said Zio? Zio.
Just Ziono.
Ziono.
Three syllables. Just remember it that way.
No, is pissed and tries to argue this is ridiculous and they can't accept this from a droid, and Chopper gets mad. Carson has to hold him back a little bit. Like, dude, it's okay. 3PO tells them if they have more questions, come straight to Leia with their grievances, as she's the head of like the defense council. Court was dismissed and Hera was free of charges. Hera and Mamotha talk about what her and Leia are playing at something. Like basically like what are you guys up to or what's happening here? And then they start talking about Thrawn. And she's like, put your personal sides of feelings, which I think it was like a kind of something to do with Kanan, mentioning Kanan. Like put your personal feelings aside is what's the possibility of Thrawn? She's like, bad. We should get ready.
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Basically.
No, I think that was verbatim actually. But
I don't remember. It's fresh off your head right now.
Indeed.
Okay, so then we go to the Jedi purrgil mouth Jedi ship. I didn't really know how to. Yeah, I've been both. Ahsoka's training while there is a hollow recording of Anakin mentioning General Grievous, Asajj Ventress, and Count Dooku. And it's quite interesting because like it feels like he's like actually there. I mean, he is when they're taping or recording this, but yeah, it was kind of weird. It's like, oh, he's right there. No, it's not. Just Apollo. Then Huyang comes in and is watching her and listening to the hollow. Ahsoka tells Huyang that Anakin made several hollow recordings where she like keeps them all in a box in her like where all the other training stuff is.
Right. Yeah. That's just to point out exactly what's happening. Yeah, is that it's
this is a training exercise.
Yeah, with I mean, I think it's worth noting that like Hayden Christensen in his Clone War.
Oh, Clone War. Yeah, he's in his Clone War.
And haircut and like, which is really between episodes 2 and 3, which we don't like. We did see it in the Worlds Between, right, or World Between Worlds. He's wearing,
so, yeah,
definitely wearing that.
No, it was a little bit longer, actually. I think.
Yeah.
Well, in the beginning it was. Then it went short. I think. I don't know. I can't. I gotta.
I almost liked
can't recall the.
I almost liked it better in this hologram form. Like I feel like they did a really good job with it here. I mean, it's one of those things when you put it in a hologram, it doesn't need to look as good, I guess. But
true. That's very true.
But it was cool. It was a cool speech he gives here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. It is. Yeah. It's like basically saying, "You got this, Ahsoka." Like encouragement. All right. So Huyang says he thinks the whales are starting to drop out of hyperspace by his instruments saying it's stuff starting to slow down. They go back into the cockpit and start planning how to find Sabine. Huyang is freaking out how we may never get to the actual location. Like he's like, you don't even know where we're going. Like,
yeah,
it's freaking out again.
Real quick, when Ahsoka was putting away that recording, we saw those little droid training globes like on the wall, which looked pretty much like the ones from A New Hope, or the one that Luke
for sure
uses. Yeah, so like you said, he's kind of freaking out about. We don't know like for sure where they're going, or what galaxy, or what planet, that they'll even be on the same galaxy or the same planet or same everything.
Huyang is my favorite.
Yeah, because he was like, and then he kind of pulls a 3PO there about talking about the odds too, like.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, so the purrgil exit out of hyperspace. Finally. They start to scan, and they notice a lot of movement in the whale, like just kind of going back and forth, scanning multiple objects. Then they leave the purrgil. Of course, I'm like, how did the purrgil know to open its mouth at the right time? Like, just
they're one with the force. The force is with them.
Right.
I mean, I wonder that too, but it was more than just moving around because it was like you could hear kind of explosions happening at this point, right? Yeah, so they started
right,
flying up,
so-
but I was wondering the same thing. Like they just sensed that they were ready to depart.
I guess. Well, I mean, the purrgil, I guess, are very in tune with the Force, apparently.
Be like
Okay, so
equivalent
yeah,
if you had a bee in your mouth and you knew it was ready to fly out.
yeah, right.
Something
Mhm.
like that.
Spits them out. Uh, so yeah, they get out of the purrgil mouth and go and they see a bunch of mines around Peridea. I don't even know if that's the right way to spell it, but sure. While whales are getting bombed and Ahsoka's trying to not hit these mines as they're like basically being activated while they like as you pass them, so they go after you. Huyang mentions that the whales being their cover, and then the whales all of a sudden just jump out of hyperspace, and Ahsoka's like, really had to say something. And it's just like, great, we're just kind of just chilling out here now. Let's see. They get through the minefield and they finally see the Eye of Sion. So yay, they're at the right place.
Yeah, that was a good
chill
giveaway.
out. And then all of a sudden they see some about I don't know, it's like 9 fighters like coming from the Eye of Sion after them. So then they head into the planet's ring cloud, aka the Purrgil graveyard.
Yeah, I noticed
And
they just refer they call it debris field, I guess, and I was like,
yeah,
I mean,
more
yeah,
than that.
ring, right? Yeah.
It's like a graveyard circle. So yeah, so she's dodging, or they're dodging debris or Purrgil carcasses and fighters, which one does run into some debris, so that's sucks for him. Back on Peridea, we can see the night troopers are still loading cargo on Thrawn's ship, which are probably a bunch of dead Night Sisters in there that they're going to resurrect. I think that's what's happening, but we'll see. Thrawn and Enoch talk about Ahsoka being here and hiding in the graveyard. Then Morgan Elsbeth gives Thrawn the information on Ahsoka because he asked for
This is what we know.
her information, and then she gets it from the Inquisitor's database, which is like, ooh, tying that in. All right, cool.
Yeah, I guess
So,
it's like if the Jedi Council had their own library, this is like the Inquisitors apparently had their own version
darker
of it.
library. Yeah. That's like basically they probably found the kill list and Ahsoka's on it. Like, oh, okay, so this is what's about her. Okay. So Thrawn finds out her master is Anakin Skywalker, and apparently, like, I know there's some comics out there that are, like, between the Clone Wars now that talk about Thrawn when the Clone Wars were happening helped Anakin save Padme from the unknown regions. Yeah.
Wait, Thrawn was good then, or something, or
He was just fighting. He was just being an admiral or general, or already was at that time.
but
I don't know. I gotta.
yeah.
It's
You said
canon,
it was between
apparently. It's in Clone Wars. It's not in the Clone Wars show, but it's in that time period.
Gotcha. In this
It isn't.
in this case, Thrawn seemed he seemed a bit flustered to hear that.
Yeah, because it's implied that he already knows who Anakin Skywalker is. Oh, that's why. Morgan asks why not to pursue them, and he doesn't want to waste any resources. She's worried that they will lose them in the graveyard, but Thrawn mentions Jedi are good at hiding.
Oh, sorry, you mentioned the part about Enoch.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, Enoch talks about it's just one ship, and tells Enoch to disengage the fighters. And that's where Morgan gets kind of flustered about it. Where are we here? Thrawn then is planning based on the info he has on Ahsoka. Back on the Jedi ship, still flying around. That's not the
Yeah,
graveyard.
and they were just gonna like. He has a lot about not wasting resources in this. Like so far, he's just basically
doesn't know what he has on the other side yet.
It's a lot of don't bother wasting him. Like we're trying to get the hell out of here. Like
yeah, but I think he's also testing the waters.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing smart.
Right. Yeah, because obviously he got to the position he's at by being very strategical.
Yeah. There's a reason where he's still alive. Ahsoka knows that Thrawn is behind the attack in the mines. Huyang starts to scan for Sabine. Then we jump back to Peridea. We see the Noti trip moving along in their pods and driving. The big one in the middle is Ezra. Of course, he's got the big pod.
Yeah, and is this very much answered a question? When we were talking about it looking like a turtle trailer park in the last episode, I didn't think they would literally be mobile. We're like, how do they just leave these here? Oh, that makes sense.
They just lift up.
They're all mobile homes.
They have anti-grav. So then we see Sabine come up from the pod and says she got some rest. Ezra has been told what happened and about basically the original trilogy, and the Empire was defeated, and kind of still processing all that. And
I mean, and again, that really just emphasized how long it's been since they last saw each other.
Yeah, about 9 years I think. That's what it's kind of at. They start talking about Zeb and Hera and what they're doing. So like
the first training mention of Zeb in this series so far.
I was like, finally, maybe we'll see him at the end.
Yeah, but it confirmed also what he was doing when we last saw him in that bar and
training new pilots. So he basically asked about the Ghost Group. Of course, he didn't ask about Chopper, which is funny.
What's Chop up to?
Must still be mad at Chopper for something. Ezra asked Sabine, like, how you found him, basically how she found him, and she's like kind of like very hesitant about talking about it, and he's like, is it the usual level or we're a level worse kind of thing? And they just look at each other like a level worse. Sabine then mentions that Ahsoka took her on as an apprentice, and Ezra is like, why? like not taking, like, well, what? Why would you be an apprentice of Ahsoka? Kind of thing. Then Ezra thinks it's good. It makes sense after the little training she had with Kanan and Rebels, because they just start talking about that. Oh yeah, I remember when you did a little training when I was still training. I'm like, oh, that's a little callback right there. I just lost my spot. Hold on. Baylan, and then we start seeing Baylan and Shin, and they are with I call them red guys. I don't know what to call them. They kind of look like the Snoke's red guard.
Yeah, or
like
the
early
Emperor's
renditions.
Red Guard, or like
Knights
and a
of
few
Ren.
Red Guards, which even the with the Great Mothers remind me of those guys too.
Great Mother. So yeah, so they're looking, and they're on a hill, just kind of looking over at the Noti tribe, making their way with their little pods. Then we go back with Thrawn, and he awaits for the Great Mothers as he needs their assistance with their dark magic, as he says. And they are happy to be of service. And he asks if they can find Ahsoka's ship in the graveyard.
And oh
Great
boy,
Mother's orbs start to do the hove.
bringing back the weird triangle orb laser things.
Hover, and a red line goes through.
And it literally triangulates a location.
Yeah. I don't know if that's spelled right. I totally botched that. But anyway. So as you know, they're still sitting there waiting to see if anything is gonna, if they can find anything or on Sabine. They start hearing some beeping, and Huyang's scan is not able to find Sabine. Ahsoka says then there's no need to scan and starts to meditate.
Yeah,
Calls out
and
to Sabine.
so was it I was a little confused because you see like the lights. I guess that was, I don't know if it was part of the scan or if that was like I guess the other guys are gone, so that would have been
Yeah.
part of the scan.
Yeah, they retreated. So while Ahsoka's doing that, calling out to Sabine, then we jump back to Peridea, and we see Sabine listening to Ezra as she starts hearing Ahsoka, and Sabine says her name.
And Ezra's like,
Then
"You okay? You good?"
yeah, like wake up! What are you doing? So then we go back to the Jedi ship, and Ahsoka says she says she sees her. And at that same time, we get like this really like jump scare moment where you get the Great Mother's eyes opening and like saying she's found them,
Yeah.
or they found them.
Real quick, we got a first time chatter in here, Misa behind you. And they called you Cucumber. They said your name. Do you collect Star Wars pop too? Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of them back there.
Yeah, there's a few.
And then also are Ezra and Sabine flirtatious or friend zoned? I'm wondering. I've been wondering this for a while because I thought there was always some energy there, but they were younger and the animated stuff, but this is the perfect time.
More like yeah, but it seems like they're trying to push more of a brother sister relationship kind of thing. That's personally how I feel about it.
Could be.
Yeah, so basically the Great Mothers found their ship by that little triangulation thingy-mabobber just pointing down into the map and saying right there, and then Thrawn calls up to Enoch and then says open fire at that location. Sabine looks shocked or confused, and Ezra asks what's going on, and Sabine says it's like a feeling and familiar, which is, I think it's basically she's feeling like Ahsoka calling her.
I thought that was a weird way to describe it when you asked her, like, kind of a feeling. Familiar. Oh, thanks. It's very helpful.
Right? So then we jump back to the Jedi ship. The ship starts taking fire from the ISIN, so Ahsoka says she knows where, basically starts flying out of there.
And those got to be some big laser beams.
Yeah.
It's a big old
super
ring.
beams.
Yeah.
Turbo beams. Yeah, so Ahsoka's like knows where she's going and starts flying. And then we basically just cut right back into Peridea, back with Thrawn, and he's happy they flushed them out. And Enoch asks if they should pursue, and Thrawn's like, no, we're good. Then back with the Noti. Sounds so weird to say Noti.
I think it is Noti though, yeah. Although I will say there's a lot of things that get, like the Han thing. Like, I'm pretty sure in this same episode I heard Cetos and Satos. And I gotta go back and because yes, Thrawn did definitely say Enoch in this episode. I gotta go back to how he says it when he introduces him though, because I swear it's a little bit different. But yeah, it's all made up stuff anyway.
Right. So yeah, they're on their way to they're just moving their camp. And as they're moving, they see Baylan and Shin on the hill, just kind of watching, waiting. Ezra asks Sabine if that's her friend. She's like, no, they're not my friends. So at that point, the whole group of pods start turning away from Baylan and Shin.
Yeah, Ezra's kind of like you said, he's in the middle. He's kind of leading, and he just does this, basically.
Yeah, he just turns and
slowly.
I gotta say, the Noti language is kind of funny sounding too. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Baylan then tells Shin call Thrawn, give the location, and then to kill Sabine and Ezra and take her place in the new empire. Basically says their paths are different now, and his path is finding whatever's on that planet that he's been feeling out for the last 2 episodes. So Shin calls to Thrawn and gives Ezra his location. Then the red guys and Shin start riding towards Ezra and Sabine. Then Enoch calls in to Thrawn that they received Ezra and Sabine's location. Thrawn orders to send the troops. They have basically 2 squad. Is that would it be a squad? Right?
Sure.
I don't know.
The battalion sounds like the fleet, the equivalent of the fleet. Yeah, right. Like
maybe. Yeah, maybe it's just a squad. Or so they're like 2 squads. Sure. Go in the transports and take off. Or the night troopers. There is a high-speed pod / howler. Oop, I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Howler chase with blaster fire, slingshots, and electrical staff. What?
So the way you make it sound here makes it almost sound like like a pod race, but I was actually thinking of it more as the droid Gungan battle that really gave me vibes of that.
Oh yeah, I suppose yeah.
Their pods are kind of similar to the to those droid army ships, and then the Noti are actually kind of like Gungans. Maybe not really, but in a goofy kind of way.
I can see that. Yeah, so they're all like blasting these guys and doing bumper pods. Saw that like they were trying to get the one guy, and he like kind of braked, and they kind of just hit each other, which is wow. Okay, those things are tough. Yes. Then they basically, one of the pods gets damaged, one of the Noti gets left behind. So Ezra's like, we can't leave him behind, we gotta turn, and he's like whoopa whoopa or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? All right, whoopa whoopa. Then the Jedi starship or ship flies in as it's being pursued by fighters. Ahsoka is able to see the Noti pods in the circle being attacked. Ezra asks, who is that? And we see Shin with a red guy, and Sabine looks annoyed. She's just like,
this again.
Yeah. Ezra says she has a lightsaber, and Sabine's like, yep, she has a lightsaber. Fun. Then Sabine and Ezra come out of the pod to get ready to fight. Ahsoka and Huyang are still flying around, attempting to evade the fighters. Ahsoka tells Huyang to keep flying and open the door, and he's not this again. Like they've done this a few times. She's like, last time it wasn't good. So
Oh yeah, because
they're having a little argument about that one.
it sounded so
How they're-
long ago. Because that's like they're referring to the first scene, the opening scene in the first episode, right?
Something like that, yeah.
It sounded like I mean, I guess
think
it
it
was a while
might have
ago
been.
now, but yeah, where he where the blast goes off or whatever, and yeah, he was like
Gotta love it.
what did he say? He was really sorry. He said like, I was really sorry or something, and she just said no. Like, no, you weren't. Like,
So now Ahsoka goes on the ship's ramp and basically is standing there while it's flying in the air, and Huyang's she's just basically like waiting, and then tells him now, and the ramp turns into basically like slippery and just slides right
cool
off.
effect. The stairs just flip down.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I like that. But yeah, then she lands gracefully, I would say. Where then Baylan is waiting for her, and then they have a few
Round 2.
back and
Oi.
forth, like, oh, I can't believe didn't expect to see you again. And basically start, she is like, I have no time for you, and then they start fighting, lightsaber time. But this time she's using both her lightsabers, like unless like before she was using one.
Man,
So-
she's got her white robe deal on.
She's white Ahsoka.
Yeah, or what do you
Ahsoka
call
the
it?
White.
It's like a canvasy thing.
It's a cloak.
Whatever. Yeah, it's
It's her cloak.
different.
So Ezra asks Sabine what the plan is, and Sabine hands over her lightsaber to him, and he says he doesn't need it, and the Force is his ally.
I was like, wow, cocky are we?
Plus, well, she also is like, well, it used to be yours. He's like, no, I gave it to you. It's yours now, not mine. That's not how it works.
He's got to make a new one now.
Yeah. So Ezra moves Sabine out of the way from an attack that starts the fighting with the red guys. Sabine starts blasting, and Ezra uses a lot of force moves. I swear I saw a force kick.
Yeah, he used a lot. I was like, first I was like, okay, Ezra. I'm like, oh, okay, Ezra. Immediately just starts.
Especially when he got that first guy that was like almost like trying to sneak up on Sabine.
We wouldn't even take a blaster, like, and then he's actually dismantling those guards pretty effectively.
Yeah, he held his own pretty well with those guys. So then we jump back to Baylan and Ahsoka, and they're still dueling out, still doing a little lightsaber work. Then we go back to Sabine and Ezra, and they're still fighting the red guys. Just back and forth, kind of hitting, getting around, trying to get. Basically, I think they're trying to get the Shin, maybe. So then Shin breaks an attack or tries to sneak attack on Ezra, but ducks, literally singes his hair, and he's like, close.
That's close. Yeah, yeah, that was good.
She looks like kind of pissed about that remark.
And I don't. I'm just thinking about this now. I don't think that's how it works with hair. I think it's supposed to singe, like, if your hair catches on fire, it like the whole thing goes up. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it. I mean, I have long hair, but I'm not gonna try it out.
And it smells.
Yeah, it's horrible. So then we go back to Sabine, and she's still fighting guys with her blasters, and finally gets her lightsaber. I was like, why didn't you get this out like at first? Which is weird because Sabine used to be really good at shooting. Like back in the show, she was really good at shooting, and now she sucks, it seems, because she's not good at shooting.
She hasn't been practicing her blaster skills, yeah.
Apparently not. So Ezra tells so then Shin tries to strike Ezra with like no luck because he just stops the strike midair. And I liked how you could see the lightsaber kind of, there's like a part of the light that creased in where you could see him like holding it back. There was it distorted. I'm like, whoa. And then So yeah, then that
Like a
happens, and the
refraction kind of
beam,
effect.
right? But it's
Nice.
like the force refraction.
Oh, real quick.
Um,
Speaking of skills that Sabine may have had before, I'm actually surprised we haven't really gotten much like of her doing art at all in this
I know.
series.
Yeah.
That was like her thing. But I guess
Maybe
you
it's a
know
lot more. I mean, it was more. It was a lot easier in animation. It's probably something that's not. They didn't want to try to go down right now.
But I get it. I get it. You know, I don't do as much art as I used to do too. I get it. You lose.
I mean, you can see the art on her.
Yeah.
Get up her gear.
I suppose. Oh yeah.
Mandalorian
Did she end up like repainting her armor when she put that back on? Was that a thing she did?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think she did. But anywho, so Ezra then tells Shin, "This is not looking good for you." And then, as he says that, there's basically two transports full of night troopers unloading. So good job, Ezra.
Yeah. And sorry.
Good,
Yeah. I gotta start
call.
getting used to calling them night troopers too. But the yeah, because their ships reminded me of like a combination of the Clone Wars ships and TIE Fighter. Like they had the TIE Fighter fins on the front of them, kind of.
Yeah, they're pretty. I remember them in Rebels, so they're pretty neat. Cool to see them come back. Actually, I think that's the first time. No, that's not the first time I've seen them in live action. I think they were in Rogue One as well.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So Ezra attempts to take Shin, and she force pushes Ezra into a pod and knocks him out. Back to Baylan and Ahsoka. They continue to fight. Baylan tells Ahsoka that she can't defeat him, and she says, perhaps I don't have to. As the Jedi ship comes behind and shoots near Ahsoka and Baylan, kind of like a distraction.
Yeah, I thought for a second he was getting taken out there
I
altogether.
did too. And it looked like flares almost, kind of like it wasn't like full on blaster fire or anything. But so, and then Ahsoka is able to basically get away, and Baylan sees her taking off on his howler. And then he kind of just turns away the other way and kind of looks out towards the distance like he's something still calling to him. So he
gives a look
is that way.
He kind of gave a look that made me think, all right, I'm out of here.
Right.
Like he was just done or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. So next week we'll find out, hopefully.
And I mean, it was already kind of weird that he just let her go in there by herself, and just literally stood back, like, which made me think, like, did he secretly know Ahsoka was coming? Like, was a little suspect. And then, so there's a little part of me that's really wondering if he's going to end up being good, like, in the end of all this, because he's already made, like, decisions that were kind of like, is he, isn't he, you know, keeping his word and stuff, and like keeping Sabine alive. And now, like, well, you'll get to, I guess, what Thrawn is thinking also.
Ezra then gets back up and tells a Noti that, like, one of the Noti that are like peeking out to get back inside, like, it's not stay in cover. The night troopers transports land near the Noti and support them, or surround them. Excuse me.
We support you, Noti.
Then we jump back to Thrawn and Morgan as they're watching through the map of the attacks, and they notice that they're short one mercenary, and Thrawn's like, "Where's Baylan?"
Yeah, this
or
is
Baylan's
the part of it where I'm like, this like, did he bail or something? What's going on?
We'll see. We're gonna see next week. Have to, right?
Yeah.
So Sabine and Shin continue to duel, and as Shin's about to strike Sabine, actually I should say Shin, like, they get in like a weird tangle and Sabine guards with her Beskar armor from Shin's lightsaber, and then Shin kind of flips her in midair, and then Sabine's on the ground. And as Shin's about to strike, then Ezra just like basically force pulls Sabine back so she doesn't get hit by a lightsaber. And as she's being pulled back, she basically ignites her flamethrower from her armor, and but the takes and presses. God, I can't talk. Flamethrower points it at Shin and fires. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you.
You mentioning her armor also it reminded me. I know there was a brief talk about the in this episode of the battle on Mandalore or whatever. I guess that was when. That was when they brought up. What's his face?
Talking Carson.
The Gideon, Moff Gideon.
Oh, Gideon.
They brought up him.
Yeah.
That was yeah. So I did have a quick theory about. Did we get to the part yet where Enoch shows up on the hologram? When he shows on the hologram, he's talking to Thrawn.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a cool effect where it warps in. But for a second there, I got it kind of made me wonder if, this wouldn't make sense. He wouldn't. It made me think for a second, wouldn't it be funny if this was, what's his name? The guy that, the heavy, Mandalorian guy, like what was that? Paz Vizsla or whatever, which wouldn't really timeline. I guess maybe wouldn't make sense, but that would be an interesting thing. He's also maybe not the same size. I suppose that's part. But I thought I heard a little bit of like Jon Favreau's voice. Do we know who the voice actor is behind Enoch?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can look.
Well, I'll look that up as carry on.
Carry on. So Shin tells the night troopers to destroy them, and Ezra tries to delay with just some banter. He's just like, "Oh, you want me to like talk about this, or you want to like take us as prisoners, or talk about this?" Just trying to like, the old Ezra kind of stuff, trying to just say stupid stuff. Shin says fire, and we see some of the troopers then just fly in midair as we see a howler running in. And then we see Ahsoka just jump off her howler and fight Shin, and without a lightsaber, as Shin has hers out, and she's just like dodging, and the force pushes her down to the ground, and that, Shin's basically down to the ground.
Yeah, and the delay Ezra had was
weird.
It was a bit comical though. Like it was meant to be like, don't you guys just want to take us as your prisoners?
That's how we acted in Rebels, trying to replicate that.
Yeah, thank God, getting some of that. That's classic Ezra. But
Richard.
Shin had to reiterate. Yeah, the fire.
Right. So let's see. Oh yeah, Huyang then still flying around. You can see them blow, and he's happy that they're all together, and he's hoping he survives this. See this? Which I'm like, Huyang, you're great. I hope they don't kill you off. I'd be sad.
Hope he survives too.
Right? Sabine, Ezra, and Ahsoka still battling the troopers. And then we jump back to Thrawn as he calls off the attack and calls back the troopers to his ship. And he calls the first fight with Ahsoka a success. And Morgan just sees it as their enemies reuniting. And then Thrawn shows Morgan. What?
Morgan kind of like looked at Thrawn like, man, this man is out of his mind.
Right?
She's like, what the hell is he doing?
What's going on? Well, then Thrawn shows what he's been doing, with basically distracting them, so they were able to finish loading all the cargo and start the journey home. Thrawn says Ahsoka lost time, and the time is on their side now. So Thrawn's pretty happy about that because he's like 7 moves ahead of him. Like, this guy plays chess, whatever Star Wars calls chess in their world. Then we go back to the Noti tribe, or the pods. And then there's a droid that's flying over. That came off one of the ships. It's basically giving off a signal telling the troopers to retreat at that point. So just stop fighting, just take off, and that's it. Jump away, and they're gone.
The Jarek, by the way, is hollow chess.
Oh, okay, there you go. Nice. So Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka watch them leave and tell Shin to surrender her weapon, and Ahsoka's trying to say she can help her, and she kind of looks and it seems like she thinks about it for a moment, then runs off and jumps on her howler, and she's going back. I'm thinking she's going back to Thrawn's ship, but we'll see.
Yeah, and it was like you could see conflict. Like she was considering.
She was, yeah. She delayed for a moment there, like maybe this is good, but she didn't. Let's see. So Sabine, Ahsoka, and Ezra are finally reunited, and Ahsoka gives Ezra a hug, and
Not
she also laughs.
not before Sabine says, "I thought you were dead."
Oh yeah, that's right.
And and that's where she says, "I miss this reunion."
Reunion, yeah. And then she gives him a hug. Yeah. Then we see the Jedi ship shows up and just hovering over near the Noti and friends. One of the Noti come out and make sure Ezra's safe, and he's like worried that it's like, what's going on? He's chill. It's okay. It's my friends. We're all friends. We're good. And then Ezra turns around and he's just like, I got a good feeling, and he's excited to go home.
We still going home, and then the
Sabine and Ahsoka kind of look at each other like, yeah.
The circle fade goes in and goes da 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 da. Yeah. And the episode ends.
No, that is it, and we have one more episode before the season's over.
Yes. Yeah. Just like Ezra was like optimistic. He was like, maybe I'll actually be able to go home after all, or whatever. Obviously excited, but yes. Maybe a bit surprised even that
Misa going home.
Or Wisa, yeah. All right. Well, you know how this goes.
I go 4-5.
I think you've done 4 or 5 for like the last 3 of them. I like this one a lot.
I liked it. I mean, but I think the last 2 episodes are way better, to be honest with me.
4-6. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's get that done. Ratings are weird. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Good.
Yeah, it does make me wonder, like, what's the ideal scale? I noticed they started on this core podcast. They were doing 10-point scales, and I kind of feel like a 10-point scale makes more sense sometimes. You don't have to go like 100-point scale, but like 10 kind of gives you like just the right amount of numbers, and then I don't know. I just so used to like the 5-star thing. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for this evening.
Yes, sir. Rebob.
Any any last thoughts before we head on out of here?
Nope. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, the finale, which we'll have to talk offline. I might possibly have to do. Oh well, I'll talk offline about when we do it. But yeah. Today obviously was not Thursday, and maybe not next week too. We'll see. All right. Thanks everyone for listening. If you want to write us, you can do so at disnerdsplus@gmail.com or go to disnerdsplus.com to visit the website. Recording, Wednesdays, Thursdays, whatever, 8:30 p.m. Central. Either way, twitch.tv/ShaveMadOx. Keep an eye out there for
You're
when
talking like a robot.
For when we do go live. It's a droid. You can find Mike. I'm sorry, did I say twitch.tv/ShaveMadOx? You can find Mike at Cool as a Cucumber, and you can find me at ShaveMadOx. And until next time, may the Force be with you. Always. Hooray!
You did it.
Indeed.
Indubitably.
So,
Now, do we message Dave?
yeah, we can try.
You have the ability to message him right now because otherwise I have to turn off my feed.
Oh, well, I don't know if you want to talk on Discord or on phone or what, but
I thought Discord was fine. He said Discord.
okay. Well, let's shut down the stream, and I gotta post this episode anyway, so yeah, we'll shut it down. Yep. All right. Either way, we'll go to a different room, but we'll
right.
see y'all next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Whoa.
Bye. See ya.
Bye. And you know how this goes.